A popular feature for any outdoor living space are fire pits and fireplaces. Let's take a look at some techniques to illuminate those features. John, we're at your fire pit here. Tell me what was going through your mind when you decided how to create your lighting plan here.
We're trying to create an atmosphere where you want to sit and enjoy it at night. With the fire pit, we don't want a lot of light in this area. It's a nice area to come out at night and relax.
So really you're lighting up this entire area without actually shining any light at all.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct. We wanted you to be able to see the fire pit as well as getting light around the fire pit.
So how do you do both?
We use the LF under top cap light.
Okay.
And they're installed under the stone. Mm-hmm. We have 6 of them on this fire pit, and the LF is shining both on the side of the fireplace, so you can kind of see, you know, the beautiful stone work, and as well as the stone patio.
I love the LFs in this application because really it's performing 3 different functions, right? You're creating a marker as far as where the fire pit is. You're highlighting the stonework on the side of the fire pit, but then also lighting up the pathway on the side. So that's a great use for that fixture.
Thank you.
Tell me about how you're getting light into this area without actually shining any light into this area from surrounding.
Sure. We're using the NP uplight on the trees and landscaping, both above the seating wall and behind us here. We also use the PB wall wash for the stone walls. That creates more light coming down, and as you're looking at the setting, light behind it.
That's incredible. My last question would be is proximity from the fixture to the fire. Obviously, the closer we are, we're worried about melting issues as well as other things. How do you know how far to keep it away from the fire?
I think obviously it depends on the material, but with this stone being about 1.5 feet to maybe 1 foot, I think that's safe to say that the fixtures are going to last.
Yeah, they're solid brass and stainless steel in some cases. So as long as they are directly out of the range of the fire, especially on the side, I think they're going to be well protected.
Excellent.
So Mark, you have a phenomenal fireplace here in the backyard. Tell me about how you decided to light this fire pit.
Well, in order to give the space the most warmth to it, what we did is we put 2 downlights on the pavilion and shined them down. And it really gives a great effect at night.
And what effect is that?
Well, it's a warming effect. It's an inviting effect. That's what we're trying to get accomplished out here, is to bring those people over, get them to sit around the fire pit and really enjoy it.
And so you said you're lighting with directional downlights. It has to be directional, right? There's nothing above us. So what effect is that creating?
It just gives it a nice depth to the space. And again, we're trying to create little intimate spaces throughout this yard. And this really the downlights really did a job here.
Definitely. I love your decision to use those directional downlights. It really makes it very inviting, creates a very natural effect of the light. Almost feels like moonlighting at night.
So this is the backyard of the pool house area.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, nice, open, spacious backyard. A lot of good lighting opportunities back here. And then over here we have a nice, on the far side, a fire pit area, and they can kind of entertain there at night. It has some nice down lighting. The customer had already had a fire pit set up, and so we really kind of wanted to highlight that. Obviously fire puts off a nice amount of light, but we were able to accentuate that with some downlights and then also some uplights on the nearby large oak trees. So it makes it a real nice, comfortable place to sit at night and entertain guests. So here's the area we were talking about, the fire pit area.
Well, this is great. So you said you've got 2 downlights and probably 3 or 4 uplights around each tree?
Yeah, and we needed to make sure we kind of did the oaks justice and get enough lights around them. And then a couple 9 LED downlights, so not a lot of downlights, but they do pack a nice little punch and they get the job done. So like with this one, for instance, this oak, nice big split trunk oak. We needed 3 just to kind of do it justice here. And then right up here we have a downlight that's kind of focused in on the sitting area here. Yeah, and so here's the other oak on the other side of the fire pit. And here's an example of kind of what we were talking about earlier, where you know, determining how many lights to put on any given tree. Since there was kind of only one main viewing angle of this tree, we were able to get away with 2 lights and kind of still balance out nice effect, but stay within budget.
And I like how the finish really blends in with the landscape as well. So you really don't even see the fixture. You can just see the effect of the light and not the source.
Yeah, and that's always the goal. And then up above, one more downlight, just kind of making sure that, because sometimes if you only do one downlight, you get some weird shadows and stuff. So hitting it from 2 different angles gives us that nice soft effect.
Yeah, and I love the contrast from those downlights. They're way up high and they really allow the light to transition outwards, so you don't have a lot of shadowing and really have just an overall nice effect.
Yeah, and that was the goal.
That's great. So I noticed you even turned the shrouds so that you're hiding most of the glare. Are you using hex baffles in there as well?
Yeah, and both of those things are kind of a must sometimes with downlights because they can get a little glary, but a lot can be accomplished by turning that glare shield.
Do you find that homeowners appreciate that final touch with adding hex baffles, even though they don't often really ask for it?
Yeah, for sure. And what we always like to do is that after we get the system installed, walk through it at night and really make sure that we pay attention to that, because that's one thing that kind of really ruin a good install is that bad glare that you can get. So yeah, glare shields are not very expensive, or hex baffles, and it's a good investment.
Good. Now, how do you compare the intensities between the downlights and uplights? How do you mix and match that?
You know, a lot of factors go into that, but you do have to pay attention to what elevation you're putting the lights at, and you know, you can get sometimes too soft of an effect or too harsh of an effect. So in this case, we did put them up a little ways up, and we wanted to make sure that they could fully see all of the sitting area. So we went with the 9 LED, and it does a good job.
Great. So what is your favorite element of this area right here?
Well, it's one of those areas where, you know, sometimes there's certain components that you light and they look good either from a distance or they look good while you're in them, but maybe not both. And this is one of those areas that looks good both ways. If you put a little time and effort into making sure that you're not shooting someone right in the face with a downlight, or that the uplights aren't glaring, then you really get a nice effect in or outside of the scene.
Well, I think you've done a phenomenal job with this area, so good job.
Thanks.
When illuminating a fire pit, you want to keep a few key concepts in mind. Lighting an area around a fire pit with downlights allows end users to safely enjoy the space with or without the fire burning. Lighting the elements around a fire pit will draw people in. You can achieve this by installing uplights near surrounding trees or rocks. Keep fixtures away from the direct heat of the fire to prevent premature fixture failure. You can also illuminate a fire pit or the surrounding area with undercap lights or downlights. This concludes our feature on lighting fire pits and fireplaces. For more information, go to fxl.com.